continent hopping. Like an introduced species, I've lost possibility of all responsibility. Misery aligns with the virus. A seismic shift in the world's consciousness. Suddenly we're awakened by the fear of morality, constantly reading about townships demolishing from their bombs and their guns and their tanks and their bombs on your screen, in your head, in your dreams, in your bed. They are dying. Looking back, my chosen path, it closes in behind me. Thorny vines of my origins entangle hopelessly in a mess, twisting into bitterness, stinging in the nettles. The sweet nectar of the vines runs dangerously close to drowning in my veins as it seeks to numb the pain. I suckle from the sweet memories I can't quite find, and I wonder if I can ever climb back down again. Fear delves into observations of mass populism. We're no longer split into classes, but those who choose community and those who choose to blame the free. And I miss you in the southern seas. Finally, we all pick up all those books we always meant to read, trends on social media, cancel out intellectuality, constructing horrific news items we all share unwittingly. Isolation within isolation, living on borrowed time now, dutifully carrying out the role of a law-abiding, God-fearing citizen, trying to prove to society that we're all doing the right thing. And still I wonder, how will I ever get you back to me? I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch. I'm going to sit and watch. I'm going to sit and watch you. I'm going to sit and watch from the sidelines. I'm going to sit and watch you from the sidelines. I'm going to see from the sidelines how you play the game. I'm going to sit on the sidelines and watch you play your games. I'm going to sit on the sidelines and see what tricks you play. I'm going to watch your tricks and learn to raise your game. I'm going to try my own tricks with a sense of dismay, a lack of courage. I can't quite fathom how you manage to build up your armor of admiration. You dole out with complacency like you got no consideration of how your ego could tumble into troubled waters and drown the very thought of me as I aim to display the me I want to communicate. I'm going to see your intolerance and your intolerable impatience, and I'm going to raise you. But bow to the presence because of it. I'm going to struggle to raise your arrogance, plain and horrible. I'm going to show you kindness, though you won't even notice. I'm going to engage you in a dialogue of a topic you're quite fond of. I'm going to fondle your preference for corrupt malpractice, and I'm going to watch. I'm going to see you get locked in your thoughts of you and your own goals too. I'm going to smile sweetly as you demanded me more energy to make you look 10 feet. I'm going to see the soft mat, your cunning prepared from the bones and the sinew of those you took with you. I'm going to watch you step forward so stridently and claim it be yours. I'm going to keep an eye on all the loopholes you strategically place around you, and I'm going to observe you from the sidelines as you find those fools you drag in with you. And at the last second, I'm going to arm the alarm and malpractice so you display your deceit. You'll fall through the gaps of the loops you'd created in the net of your own ass saving, and I'll sit and watch quietly as I always did, knowing full well you didn't need to play those games. Thank you all. Next. This is actually from quite a longer piece of mine, but I've modified it and added a reference to a Skyhooks song from the Skyhooks are an Australian band from the 70s. They've got some catchy hooks. So, there's a horror movie right there on my TV. Horror movie right there on my TV. When rivers worldwide polluted by antibiotics, where wildlife swims in thick water streams which exceed environmentally safe standards by over 300 times, when from the deepest depths we trawl out plastics idly strewn at family picnics. There's a horror movie right there on my TV. When a convoy of trucks looking like a gang on the loose crawls imminently towards the Ukraine, and the world watches passively with our satellite technology. Proud advances as the advancement of terror creeps in slow motion, and we all know shit's about to rain down. There's a horror movie right there on my phone screen, and as I sit here with my flashing screen, feeling strongly about what should be, we're dumbed down by digital memes as we scroll down to find the right article to read, and it's shocking me right out of my brain. When newborns and maternity wards become a target of the greatest horrors, a narcissist with one thing on his mind can overturn uncountable lives, families trapped in towns as a promised place to flee. A dictator in his trusty breed gave the signal from a great distance. Intensifying bureaucracy is a first reflex. Reflux, retribution is to haul tanks across the land, tanks trundling along, holding hands along the tracks in prison ranks with heads bowed low, but we already know that we've lost. There's a horror movie right there on my TV. The future drilled down by artillery in schools in the time it takes a child to scream. Scores of bullets fly across a room. We're left with tears of blood, cries of lost lives left clotting on the classroom floor, their minds lost to mind-numbing specs as teachers be taught to arm themselves instead of arm their kids with empowerment. It's bound to be a thriller. It's bound to be a chiller. It's bound to be a killer. So the time has come as the rousing rises and our angry voices spite the violence. There's a horror movie right there on my TV. This is only going to hurt a little bit, has a content warning. For dealing with own child's critically ill status. Baby. Crazy moments we've had, frailty. Your power withstands diabetes. Those days your body wailed in betrayal, and I failed to see you struggle so inwardly. Pancreasity, blatantly. The being of my body was forsaken of the battle that my baby was partaking. Cell T turned on cell B like bishops on a chessboard, invading, violating, assailants attack. Perfect crime takes place inside where evidence hides, not a hint why. It feeds off your highs, and I sit uselessly by. No longer mine, your body enshrined in its own torment, and I go on by with my time. But the red flag rose, that brigade of immunity gave way, internal decay of resilience surrendered to the vicious warrior army. Treacherous pawns turn on their own queen and engulf my porcelain. Adversary, for whose own good I stood. You fought them off with fear in your eyes. I had to abide. That light was dulling in. Baby, they were saving you as we both withdrew. And my love, those straps on that metallic rack barely disguised the industrial grade mattress, and the 4 white horns deliver the magic solution to your ketotic preclusion. I couldn't take you from there, baby. I had to lay bare adversity. And your spirit rose searching me, and my pride flowed inwardly, beat down the stolen swill of sorcery that had swooped down so suddenly to indicate so sullenly that they would snatch you from me. But your spirit fought the whole fucking army of my mama genes, brought reality back to me. It's your encompassing brevity I now see supersedes me. Sweet baby, you flew from captivity, and I get to keep you with me now. Last piece. This is really recently written, within the last week. It's called Are You Happy Now? Are you happy now? For 6 years running, Finland has been voted the happiest country on earth by the UN, given it top honours in the World Happiness Report for health, income and social support. Celebrations ring out every March in the media as convincing starts unveiling its worth with a high index rating of contentment set against a scale of acceptance. Status quo. Utopian state of socialism at its peak, whereby the greater good are cared for by the great unspoken in their taxes for the benefit of the greater. Masses sit muted on endless days of waiting for consultation via broadband clickbait rather than face-to-face, a nation administered by a switchboard consultation. Are you happy now? If you listen quietly, you can hear the grit of disenchanted teeth at dinner tables, whispers between breaking dreams. Your business is now my business, has now reached a critical breach. Apathy turns to a pathetic race to vote out hope. Youthful progression is what lights the fire in the bellies of the far right. A direct causation of carbon monoxide, dioxide, among other things, stirring with methane, forcing out a flatulence of hatred into the polling booth, and a birth of hate in the nation of hate. Are you happy yet? A preference system booby trap to trip up The minority to support centre-right only betrayed in full sight and be caught up in the rapid release of hate speech by the true Finns. Spoken openly and although claimed otherwise, process of normalisation has platform to spring from. False hooded cloaks reveal stricter bylines for comings and stayings and beings, but not goings, for immigrants at least. The hood that won't raise its head to greet a passerby, the cloak to hide behind, while all the while you've been telling us why, because you're too shy to say hello. But we see you. We've always seen you for what you are. Are you happy now? Across borders, refugees reach, running from grief, only to find arms held steadfastly down like the gazes of stoic self-made belief. Happy yet? In governance, offences exposed even before complete. Now, how does the gauge of happiness calculate a torrent of hatred in the support of the state of mind who call themselves netset, as if no one would get it? Snide remarks now free in public decree. Unella reckons reducing carbon footprints by increasing abortions for African women. New Deputy Prime Minister Purro from just a few moons ago, who couldn't hold her tongue with threats of death to rid commuter trains of migrants and call for beggars and black children to be spat on by citizens. The saliva-filled resentment builds up, spitting forth from the feral-ridden racist mind, and it stings. From your tight smiles, your sideways glances, your transparent guise, we see right through to your chosen allies. The dawn of the new era brings a shadow down on all our houses. Are you happy now, Finland? And I'm sorry to leave it there, but that's where I'm going to leave it.
Wow.
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 Wow, Natalie, that was fantastic.
I want everyone to unmute themselves, please, and raise the fucking roof for Natalie
Whoa.
Seligman.
My God, stunning.
Brilliant.
Wow. Thank you all. Thank you for letting me
Brilliant.
vent like
That
that.
was just fantastic.
Yes, Natalie.
I love you all.
Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you.
If it wasn't
Can
for
you
the fact
do
that
a
standing
standing
up
ovation?